Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, good. Feeling rather chilled. Chilly, which is nice.
It's unusual for you. You are one of the most chilled guys I have ever met. I know a lot of chill people. So
I know I said something coming from California, growing up by the beach.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the chill lifestyle. Go out surfing, smoke a little weed. You know, that's everywhere. It's just kind of in the culture of Southern California. Not everybody smokes weed or anything, but just kind of that chill out, bro, relax. And then you got the guy from Leeds in the UK, who is probably the most chill guy. You are probably one of the more chill guys that I know. And Tim is like this in person. So imagine putting on an event for 30 high performing businessmen in Morocco, right? So you're in a foreign country in Africa you've never been to, right? You got these people flying in from the United States, from Canada, from the UK. All kinds of things can go on. Logistics are crazy. People having flight things, wanting to get this, that, and the other from the airport. People want to go out. Things are changing. The weather's changing. Tim just kicking in the chair, just relaxing. Maybe having a beer, maybe not.
Maybe having a massage, maybe not.
Yeah, it's just you definitely live the lifestyle that you talk about and about owning it. You've naturally adapted to that. Okay, I'm just going to take it at stride, just chill out. My guess is most of the men listening to this podcast, they don't know how to decompress, right? They don't know how to chill out. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about, Mr. Matthews. You threw an interesting conversation topic onto the table, so I'll let you run with it.
Yeah, so one of the guys this week who applied for the program, he applied a while ago and didn't book a call at the time of his application. Not quite sure what reason. It might have been maybe there wasn't a time available, maybe he just got busy. I don't know. But anyway, on his application, he shared some really private information about the struggles that he's facing in his life and marriage. And whenever a guy shares anything like that with us, as you know, Doug, we take it very seriously. So as the advisors do, they really followed up with this guy because, a lot of guys that come to us, depending on what's going on, their struggling can range anything from being suicidal because of the breakdown of the marriage to being riddled with guilt and shame because everyone looks at them like they are the guy that has it all together, but in reality, they feel very different. So anyway, we take that very seriously. So the guys on the team did what they do best. They followed up with him. They were persistent. And eventually, they were able to book him onto a breakthrough call, which, as you know, it's not a sales call. It's really a call where we just share insights with the man. If it turns out at the end of the call he wants to have another call with us and learn more about the program, cool. Okay, great. We'll do that if we feel like it's a good fit. If not, fine, no worries. So anyway, we booked in a call with him and he didn't show up for the first call. Okay, that's worrying. Maybe he's just busy. Maybe he's like a lot of guys that come to us, has good intentions about fixing the marriage, but he's just busy. Maybe he's scared. Maybe he's ashamed. A lot of the guys end up sharing with us how they share things with us that they've never spoken to anyone about. Some guys cry on the calls. Some guys are terrified. There's a whole range of things. But anyway, eventually this guy got on the phone. Call went really well. At the end of it, one of the guys said, I'm kind of curious, why has it taken so long for us to talk? And he said, honestly, I was ashamed. I was ashamed that my marriage had got to this point. I didn't see it coming. It completely blindsided me. I thought I was doing all the right things by going out there and working hard in business. And now Nobody in the community knows what I'm going through. Everyone looks at us like we're the power couple, we're the perfect ones. And I'm terrified about what might happen if everyone finds out that we're not that way. Will I lose business deals? Will I lose my kids? Will I? So I tried to pretend like this wasn't happening. Taking this call made it really final for me that I had to face up to this. And I thought I could do it on my own because, well, I fix everything else on my own. So I should be able to fix this. This shouldn't happen to me. I'm the guy that solves problems. And then I tried burying my head in the sand a little bit, hoping it'd go away, hoping my wife would turn around and say, hey, no, look, do you know what? I'm sorry for what I said. I really do love you and I want to be with you. But that's just not happening. So I wanted to talk about, I think this is a struggle that a lot of men face. Be the guys that research us and look at the possibility of working with us and never actually take action because they, one reason or another, maybe scared, maybe not. And the guys that booking calls and don't show up. And I want to talk about the struggle that men face in facing the reality of their situation and being able to deal with it, because it can be dealt with. We've worked with men that have pulled it back literally from the brink of divorce, where they've been handed divorce papers and the wife has moved out. Like, I don't know how extreme it can be, but guys have pulled it back from there, right?
Yep.
The good news is it's possible. It might feel like it's not. It might feel like it's crumbling and that the world is falling apart. And look, I get it. It'll be awful. So yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about what you think might be going on for the men that's causing this and what they can do about it to start sharing a little bit more and start opening up more.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, I get it, guys. I was in that guy's shoes, right? When stuff wasn't going well with my wife and I was ashamed. I felt like, man, like I should know how to do this. Like I was running 3 companies, 3 businesses, which is crazy in itself, right? I was young, relatively. And, I was in a couple of business organizations, Rotary. I was doing the philanthropic thing in the community. I didn't want anybody to know. I felt like, man, I should know how to do this. Like, what is wrong with me that this is not working? Why is this all of a sudden happening to me? Right? I thought my wife was crazy, all of these things that most guys think, but I didn't want anybody to know. I was just so ashamed. I just wasn't. And, one of the advantages I had over a lot of men is at that time, I happened to know of several other very prominent business guys who opened up to me about their situation, right? Who opened up to me about their marriage and the struggles that they were having, right? Deep, deep struggles, right? So that really made it better for me, but most men don't have it. I mean, look, the joke is in every country, every movie, the guy doesn't even stop to ask for directions, right? It's always a joke in movies. The wife has to, you never ask for directions, hits them or what have you. How can we expect a man to raise his hand and be courageous and ask for help, right? We can't, it doesn't make any sense, right? It takes such courage. I mean, look at this guy. He had to build up the courage to get on a call with another man, alumni, a guy who alumni have been through this. And so I get it. I totally get where that comes from for a man to want to do that. But the key is we can't solve our own problems from the same perspective that we're currently in. You can't do that. Otherwise, you wouldn't have any problems, guys, at all. You'd be ripped. You'd be in the best shape of your life. Your business would be just through the roof, right? And you'd be having headbanging sex as much as you want. Blowjobs when you walk in the door. You get the idea. The truth is sometimes we need that GPS. We need to be able to pull out Google Maps or Waze or whatever app it is on your phone and have directions. And when we do, we get there more efficiently. We enjoy the journey a lot more, and we don't have to stress or worry or have shame around it. And our culture now doesn't give a man any shame for using Google Maps. None. You don't think twice about it when you get in a car with another dude and he's got Google Maps going for his wife or what have you. But we still have that stigma about asking for help. And it's just a stigma. And I think that's what the guys need to realize is it's really just a made up, contraction of reality. It's made up. And the truth is, hundreds of men, right? Hundreds of men go through our programs. And these are powerful businessmen. These are men that have realized, hey, punching in the address on Google Maps, it's friggin' a lot better and a lot easier. And there's no shame around that at all. There's no shame around it. And I think, that perspective will allow these guys to really step forward and come through. And I get it. Like I said, when I was in it, I had a lot of shame around it. And I didn't want anybody to know. Oh my gosh. I was so scared of saving face and what would happen if people found out, and my marriage. And I felt like it was going to be like a black mark on my life if people found out. I really did. And I was just so scared of it. And, when I look at the men, that raise their hands, the thousands of calls we get at the Powerful Man of guys that have the courage, the balls to raise their hand and say, look, let's just get on a phone call. Let's find out what this is about and if this is the right fit for me. And the courage that those men have and the guts they have, and all those guys realize there's no shame at all, right? It's just the fear is in our heads. It's the fear that's in our heads. It's like my kid, he's scared of the dark because the monsters are going to come out. Well, you and I know there's no monsters. But to him, that's real. And Tim, I think to a lot of men, until they get on a phone call, because once they get on a phone call, with Franco, with yourself, with Ryan, with Ben, with any of the guys, Oliver, whoever it is, once they get on a call, now they just realize they're talking to another man, like a friend. And it's just a conversation is all it is. And that's when all of those, it's like turning on the lights. That's when all the monsters go away. Mm. And that's when those guys at that point are able to start moving forward.
Yeah. It's never as bad as you think. It's never as hard as you think when you start opening up. But I think a lot of guys as well, they hope the problem's going to go away, right? We've done podcasts on this before where it's like, oh, she won't leave me. The worst case won't happen. But 80% of divorces are initiated by women. That stat still, well, when I first read it, it shocked me. But when we consider this conversation, right, and the struggles men have in opening up and how men often think they're doing the right thing by going out there and providing financially, it kind of makes sense. 80% of divorces are initiated by women. So I think that as well holds men back in some instance, being a bit comfortable and thinking, oh, she won't leave. She won't go through with it. But she will. Well, they do, right? 80% of women. And then also at the same time, I think what the men often tell us is as soon as, if they choose to join the program and work with us, one of the first things they do is they put into the community, right, within workplace. And straight away, imagine going from feeling like you're a man on an island in the middle of nowhere all on your own to being surrounded by hundreds of men that are either in a similar position or ahead of you. It's a really great feeling because then it's a feeling of relief. All that shame and guilt that's been building prior that held you back. No, I'm not alone. He's just like me. Look at that guy there with, looking really muscular and masculine, yet
thank you.
He's got the same struggles that I've got. Did you say thank you? He's got the same struggles that I've got. And then when you see these other men sharing and overcoming them as well, and I don't want this to be a plug for the community because that isn't the intention here. There's just a lot of power in going from thinking you're on your own and allowing shame to build because of it. Like you said, right? What helped you was those preeminent people who started to share. You knew you wasn't alone. Oh, well, if they've got the problem, they're dealing with it, then maybe I'm not as bad.
Yeah. I mean, so look, when you look at this, guys, suicide for men our age is number 2 in the world. It's number 2 cause of death of men our age. Think about that for a second. It's not cancer, it's not stroke, it's not homicide, it's suicide, right? And a lot of times the suicide is because we're taught not to raise our hand and ask for help. We're taught not to inquire. Yet, wouldn't you tell your kids if you don't know something, the smartest thing to do is just raise your hand and get help, right? Admit that you don't know everything. Because, the whole idea, you don't want to be the smartest guy in the room, right? Because if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. We've all heard that in business and any business book you read, you hear it all over the place. Suicide is the number 2 cause of death in the world. I mean, that's why, Tim, we formulated a nonprofit that's just getting off the ground. That's at theworldwidemovement.com. Guys, if you're interested in learning more, we're rolling out some stuff. That's theworldwidemovement.com. And that's going to be the nonprofit arm. But the same thing, right? The same world that's out there, the same society that's out there that's causing men to commit suicide before they reach out for help, before they raise their hand and ask, is the same society, the same stereotypes that are preventing you from reaching out and saying, hey, I could use a little help in my marriage. And it's not suicide that's happening for you guys. Gosh, if you're on that ledge, reach out to someone, reach out to myself, Tim, anybody. We're committed to helping men around the world. But if that's not you, well, chances are what's going to be is you're going to be one of those statistics in the 80%. You're going to be one of those 50% of marriages that ends in divorce. Raise your hand for help. That is an old paradigm that we're still living out of that comes way back to pre-war era. Men don't ask for directions. Well, men not asking directions is leading suicide to be the number 2 cause of death of men our age. Men not asking for directions is also leading to divorces. Over 50% of marriages end in divorce, and over 80% of them, as Tim said, are initiated by the woman. Where are you going to be? Be the friggin' guy that puts the address in Google Maps, gets some directions, and enjoys the ride. Right? That takes courage. That takes balls to get on a phone call. I got to tell you, you guys heard me. If you heard me on that podcast, Tim's probably the chillest guy I know, like naturally the chillest guy I know. So you get on a call with him, it's going to be the same way. You're just getting a chance to talk to Tim. And all he's going to do is see what the best method for you, the best way for you to go. We only take 9 guys. We have way more than 9 guys apply a week, let alone a month. But we only take 9 guys for a group. And it's because we want those groups to be intimate. We want those groups to be small. It's like a barbecue. You go to a barbecue, it's a huge barbecue, there's hundreds of people. You don't get to know anybody, right? Nothing happens. But you go to a barbecue and it's 9 really chill, cool guys that are like you. Things start to open up. Conversations start to happen. Things start to shake and move. That's a big difference, guys. So, gentlemen, I invite you and I implore you, right? Slaughter that old paradigm, right? It's not you stopping by the gas station to ask for directions. No. What being a man is being your own man. You get to determine whether you want to ask for directions or not somebody else's opinion. Not somebody else's opinion, right? Again, it's the same thing that's causing so many of us men, our brothers, men around the world to end their lives with suicide rather than reaching up and reaching their hand out and asking for help is the same thing that's ending marriages at an alarming rate. It's growing. I mean, I don't even know what it is, Tim. It was over 50%. Where I was from in California, it was over 60%. And if 80% of those are initiated by women, I mean, gosh, guys, flip a coin, get married and flip a coin, right? And decide if it's going to work out. Or you take the world in your own hands. You take control. You drive, right? You drive the car. And you ensure which side of that, you weight down that coin. So when it gets flipped in your direction, right? That's what you do. That's what you do in business. That's what you do everywhere else. Why wouldn't you do it in this area of your life? But I get it, right? I get it. Like I said, man, when I was in this situation, I was friggin' so freaked out. The truth is, if I didn't take action, Tim, everybody would have found out because, it turned out to be, and I didn't know this until later, is my wife had bought all kinds of books on divorce. how to get up ahead on divorce, all of these things. I didn't know because, in Amazon, when you share the family account, you can see all the books that people have bought on Kindle. Those times I was sitting on the couch with my wife, I was reading and she was reading her Kindle. Guess what she was reading about? I had no idea. She was reading about getting a divorce and how a woman can get ahead in a divorce. And all of these books are written for women about this. And guys, there's a great chance that your wife's reading the same books. Any advice for these guys? Any take-home points?
Yeah, just know you're not alone, guys. Just like the guy who applied and then bailed out before he booked and then booked a call and didn't show up, all because he was afraid, which I get completely. Like, we deal with thousands of men a month. We have got some great insights to share with you guys. It isn't a sales call. That first call is not a sales call. It's a breakthrough call. And the idea is that we give you an insight so that you can progress regardless of whether you work with us or not. So just know that you're not alone. Just know that providing you want to, there's a very high probability that this can be fixed, providing you're willing to put in the work. And our advisors, our team, are very highly trained. So, they'll be able to support you in a really effective way, in a way that meets you where you're at. So no need to be worried, no need to be ashamed. Again, you're in a great place. If you choose, I'm assuming you're in the same position as the guy we was talking about here. If you choose to book a call with us, you're in a great position with some great people around you. And again, I want to reiterate, I keep saying it, you're not alone, because you're really not.
So true. So true. Guys, we're in your corner, right? If you are struggling in this area or any other area, reach out for help. And it doesn't have to be to us, doesn't have to be the powerful man. We just happen to be guys that are here with you right now. But just to reach out, right? And lift a hand to another man around you. And it's not that we're against women, because we're absolutely not. We love women. We're guys. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a business owner, I'm a brother. And that's what I know. So guys, in the moment of any decision, you hear me say this over and over again, take action. If this is the right thing for you, raise your hand. Jump on a call. If you're struggling in another area of your life, raise your hand. Jump on a call with somebody. Right? Reach out. Go over to our Facebook group. Post a comment. There's over 2,000 amazing business leaders like you that are in there. A lot of them are, scared. They're hiding on the sidelines. And I don't blame them, because I was there too. But I can tell you it's so much better. So much better on the other side. And that story, that bullshit story that society told us about that we can't ask for directions, is just bullshit. Guys, that's a wrap for us. Make it an amazing week. Whenever you do, just take some action. We'll see you next time on the Powerful Man Show.